Hello, Mortellaro. Your guide for the program as we turn our attention here to Kim McWaters, CEO with Fresh Start, as well as Kathy Hu from JP Morgan Chase. Kim and Kathy, thank you both very much for the time on the show today.
You're so welcome. We're happy to be here. Thrilled.
Looking forward to the conversation. Kim, I want to start with you and with the Fresh Start side of this conversation. Your work empowers women as they become the heroes of their own story. You talk about wraparound services and one-on-one. So what exactly are your support services for women, and what women are you helping?
Well, great question. A little bit about Fresh Start. We're a Phoenix-based nonprofit. We serve more than 3,000 women every year, and that means we've served more than 50,000 women in our 30-year history. A little bit about the women: 60% are single moms, 66% make less than $25,000 a year, 68% are domestic violence survivors, and 65% are women of color. Our mission is to provide access and resources that help women achieve self-sufficiency and use their strength to thrive. And, the way that we do that is we focus on 5 key pillars that we believe are critical for her to become self-sufficient and financially independent over the long term. And those 5 key pillars are family stability, including support with legal services such as family law, health and well-being, financial literacy and management, education and job training, as well as career placement and support.
In addition to that, why don't you walk us through what each of these areas of focus you have and work on, and how women get that personalized help to gain knowledge and understanding of these focus areas?
Well, what's so wonderful about this model is that women can come into our center. They can find us online. They can access us telephonically or virtually. And we create a direct one-on-one relationship with each woman. And typically that begins with one of our social workers that we like to refer to as success coaches. And during that 15-minute connect session, we try to understand where she is at that moment, and make certain that we understand how best to meet her immediate needs. And then over time, we'll begin to focus on the future. We believe that she is, the best architect of her future. And once we understand, what her most immediate needs are, then we begin supporting her on that journey. And typically that starts with our first pillar, which is all about family stability. And it's kind of like the hierarchy of needs, just making certain that she has food and shelter and is in a safe place, and so are her children. And we will do everything in our power to make certain that she has access to resources in the community that can help her in any of those areas. In addition, we will help, especially if she is looking for support like protective orders. Let's just say she's in an abusive relationship, or she does not have the support of a spouse any longer. We will help her through our Family Law Center, which is generously supported by the Thunderbirds charities. And we'll make certain that she can get any of those legal things out of the way so she can start focusing on herself. And that's where the second pillar comes into play, which is really about health and well-being. And we believe that it's really important for the woman to focus on her own health and well-being so she is in a position to take care of others, in her life. Especially, like I said, we have a lot of single moms, and the majority of all of our women are mothers. So we know taking care of their family is really important to them. But for her health and mental well-being, to be really grounded and strong so that she can focus on financial management, taking care of her own finances, to pursue an education that provides a career path to self-sufficiency. And then we work with the employers to make certain that the employment and career that she pursues really plays to her natural strengths. And all of this is done by a one-on-one interaction with the team here, who are experts in each of these pillars. And then that is supported by workshops provided by subject matter experts, some of whom are on staff and some are really incredible volunteers.
Kim McWaters, CEO with Fresh Start, Kathy Hu from JP Morgan Chase right here on Valley Focus. One more for you, Kim, here. Walk me through what happens when a woman comes to your location at Fresh Start, wants help. What is that initial process like, and how does that look?
So a woman comes through our doors, and we connect her with a social worker, and this social worker is trained and skilled to help her think through what her most immediate needs are. And at that point in time, we'll begin to look at these 5 pillars that I mentioned previously, the 5 key pillars on the bridge to self-sufficiency. And as that relationship strengthens, we begin to understand the areas where she needs help the most. And the social worker, who is like a success or a life coach, will then put her in touch with people either on staff at Fresh Start. Let's just say she needs a job. So we will coordinate with our team that helps from an employment and career services standpoint. Or let's say she just needs help straightening out her finances. We'll connect her with one of our financial management and financial literacy experts. If, for example, it's something where it's outside of our services, such as she needs a shelter for the evening, or she needs access to food for her family, we will then pick up the phone and call one of the agencies that we partner in the Valley with to make certain that she can get her most immediate needs met. But basically, a woman can come in with a variety of needs, and the point is that we listen. We try to understand what it is that she needs, and using our experience, expertise, and a science-based model, we respond and help her address immediate concerns while planning for the long-term future, which is about being self-sufficient and personally empowered.
Kim McWaters, CEO with Fresh Start, Kathy Hu from JP Morgan Chase right here on Valley Focus. So, Kathy, JP Morgan Chase has an annual challenge competition. Explain to us what that is and how 8 organizations nationwide were selected to receive a $1.3 million commitment.
Thank you, Kayla. So this announcement was part of JP Morgan Chase's $30 billion racial equity commitment to drive equity, economic inclusion, and build on the firm's $500 million 5-year initiative to invest in solutions to drive equitable growth and community-based strategies across the country. As you noted, Fresh Start was selected as one of 8 organizations. This was nationwide to be awarded a grant from JP Morgan Chase for the amount of $1.3 million over 3 years. Fresh Start and other awardees were chosen for their innovative, sustainable solutions that create economic opportunity and resilient wealth generation for women of color. This year, the competition also provided solutions at the intersection of mental health and economic mobility. With these funds, Fresh Start will provide expanded resources and support directly to women of color. Data has shown that there are disparities in accessing mental health care for women of color, which is linked to financial stress, as Kim noted, and mental health challenges. In terms of partnerships, and winning partnerships demonstrates that significant experience will help to improve outcomes for women of color and offer timely and promising approaches to financial health and coaching, career support, mental health support, entrepreneurship, and housing stability. In this process, JP Morgan Chase will also work with national partners to support evaluation and facilitate a learning community among the 8 winners to enhance sustainability of solutions, meeting challenges, needs of each community, and share learnings. The annual challenge centers on supporting proximate diverse leaders that are driving sustainable solutions.
You mentioned that Fresh Start and the other awardees were chosen for their innovative, sustainable solutions that create economic opportunity and resilient wealth generation for women of color. And that certainly matches up with a lot of what Fresh Start is doing. So how did you stumble into Fresh Start? Obviously, this is a nationwide contest. So for it to be right here locally here in Arizona, was there a process of different organizations applying? How did you figure out Fresh Start was the one or one of the 8 to be selected?
As you noted, there was a competitive process with regards to the grant process, and maybe Kim would speak to the aspect of Fresh Start applying directly, Kim, for the grant process that they applied for.
Absolutely. Yes, it was a formal grant process which we applied to, and there were multiple rounds. So I think we competed at 3 levels before we were told that we were one of 8 recipients. So during the process, first it was a written grant, really where Fresh Start talked about the programs that we have and how this money would help us expand these services into communities of color. And then we really focused on how we might be able to really build out on 2 of the key pillars with financial literacy and mental health, and recognizing how critical both of those pillars are in her journey to self-sufficiency. And then we went through multiple rounds of interviews with a team of, I believe, executives from JP Morgan Chase on a national level. And, you know, we had positive news at the end of each round and then ultimately ended up being selected. So it was an incredible process to go through, and we're so grateful for JP Morgan selecting Fresh Start.
Yeah, what was that emotional and mental process like? This sounds like it was a multi-layered approach. And then once you found out that you were awarded this grant, the elation that you're able to put that money to good use, what are some of the areas that you're really going to be able to expand on and the goals that you have for it all?
So first of all, I can't even describe the elation that we had in this building. Just so excited to be able to have this support to really further integrate mental health support into our programming and to increase the number of trained mental health providers who are representative of women of color in Arizona. And so the opportunity to expand access to our impact program, these are the 5 pillars that we were talking about, in particularly for women of color. It's just so important to provide them access to education and training and career placement for all of these in-demand jobs. But most important is that she has the mental health support and understanding about her financial, just her finances, in order to be able to take advantage of the education and training that we offer. And so to be able to do this, we're so grateful for JP Morgan Chase and for JP Morgan Chase to recognize the importance of mental health and wellness in this whole formula for success. And so through this grant, not only will we expand what we're doing with our program and creating greater access, but we'll also help build a pipeline of therapists who are culturally competent so that women of color have a wider pathway to healing, well-being, and success in working with therapists from their own communities.
Kim McWaters, CEO with Fresh Start, Kathy Hu from JP Morgan Chase here on Valley Focus. And so, Kim, what other ways that the community can help Fresh Start and be an advocate within the community?
Well, thank you for the question, Kayla. There are many ways to help with, I'd say, time, talent, and treasure. The key areas that I spoke of in terms of family stability, health, financial literacy, education and job training, and career placement. We depend on the support of corporations, businesses, and volunteers, maybe to teach a workshop on one of the key subjects in each of those pillars. We have major fundraising events, which you can check out on our website at freshstartwomen.org. We have golf tournament and a big gala, which is wonderful because we bring the entire community together to really support and focus in on these key pillars. And we also share the success because our reputation and brand is built on the success of our clients, and there's so much success coming out of the doors of Fresh Start, which benefits the community, because if we can change one life and help lift one woman out of poverty, we change her children's life and generations to come. And that's something this community has done for 3 decades in helping women help themselves so that they can help their children. And in the end, the community wins.
Kathy, why does JP Morgan Chase have such a commitment to helping nonprofits, giving back to the community, and really going all in on this initiative?
Thanks, Kayla, for the question. So this program for the annual challenge was launched back in 2018, formerly known as Advancing Cities Challenge, and it's the annual competition that supports promising ideas in helping to advance economic and equity opportunity through leadership and community-driven solutions. In terms of JP Morgan Chase, and on behalf of JP Morgan Chase's 8,500 Arizona employees here, we're deeply rooted in this state, and this dates back more than 120 years through our predecessor banks. And we know that doing business here comes with a responsibility to support and strengthen the communities we serve. We live here too, and we want to be part of this solution for the Phoenix metro area.
And before I let you both go here today, Kim, I know you mentioned it once, but it's worth repeating again. What's a great website for people to learn more about Fresh Start, whether they could really use the services that Fresh Start is providing, or they want to donate their time or money?
Yes, thank you, Kayla. It's www.freshstartwomen.org. And you can learn more about our model and the services we provide and how to get involved.
Thank you both very much for the time, and best of luck with all of this grant money and what your goals are for the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kayla.
Once again, Kim McWaters, CEO with Fresh Start, as well as Kathy Hu from JP Morgan Chase, as you have been listening right here to Valley Focus.